Hello friend, welcome back. In our previous video, I already created one of the route as a details, and here I just defined that as a slack, and in our details space controller that is the index method. So now we have to work in our index method. And also I updated our details plate. Here I updated all that, I remove all that static some of the data, and which field will be the needed, only that field I added on particular that positions. So right now I want to actually make that things dynamic. So how can do that work? In this video I will show you that things with the live example. For doing this, first of all, we have to work in our index method in our detail space controller. So that is our detail space controller. And here, first of all, what exactly the things will be needed? Like if you go to our single page detail space, here we need that author, that means the creator. Okay. Also, we need category, that means which category details page is that, and also you need the comments. Okay, so here you can see that for the related is also will be needed for everything. So here I want to add all the things before I already did this type of work. Like here, listing controller page, here you can see I just define that with that comments category, the creator. So now I just want to do the same things because all that will be needed. So for the reasons, first of all, here I want to take one of the variable as a post, and in the post variable I just define our post model, and into the post model I just define the width. Okay, so here I need three of these. Like first of all, we need the creator. Okay, I just define the creator, and also I need another one as a our category. Okay, I just define that category, and also I define that comments. Okay, comments. So now here I have to pass that things with the array. So here I just define as a our third bracket, and I just and that third bracket on particular that position. And now here I just want to put one of the where condition. So where, okay, and where here I want to add that our status field will be the one. I already discussed about a lot of the time. Okay, that is the only one value data you will be get. So here I just define that status field one, and then I also want to do, I just want to add our ID. So from here we pass one of the ID. So that is actually the Slack ID. So we have to actually get that things in our index. So here I just defining it. So that is our Slack. Okay. So now I want to actually put that condition on here, like as a where, and into this position I just define our field name that in our database field name, that is Slack. It should be compared with this one. So that is actually our Slack ID. So I just define that things on here. Okay, so here I just defining it. I hope you can well understand about it. So if you go to actually our database, like if you go to the database post field, so here if you go to the post, and here you can see that is actually the field as a Slack. So it should be compared with our ID. So that is the ID. I just take that thing so on particular that position. So that is our database field name, and that is our ID. So now here I also need one things, like I have to define as a where has one of the condition. Okay, I just define as a where has, and in particular that area I want to define it on here as a our comment. Okay, I just define our comments on particular that position, and here I want to add some of the function for this one, that is the function query. So for doing this you have to do like here on I better I just remove it on particular that area, and now on particular that position so I just put in that comma. Okay, and after that here I just define as a function. I just define as a function, and function I just define one of the query. So it should be query. I just defining it on here, and now here I just defining it. So better I just put the things on this area, and after that then it should be the semicolon. I just defining it. So this function query here I just defining our status value. Like here he will be query our this status value. So for the reasons I just defining it as a one of the variable as a query, and with this query here I just define our conditions like where. Okay, where I just defining our field name status. and status will be get the 1, so I just defining it on particular that position. And after that I want to do, he will be get the fast data. Okay, so for doing this I just defining it on here, so I just defining he will be get the fast data. So here I just define fast, and in particular that position he will be get it. Okay, so here I just define our fast data will be visible on here. So perfect. So here I just defining our comments, and in the comments here I just also functionalize our query, the query where that I just put one of the query, and here with this query I just defining our conditions. That means this status condition on particular that position, and after that he will be get only that fast data. That means the fast data will be visible on here. And then I also have to do, I also add one of the view count, like here with this post. With this post I just defining one of the view count, view underscore count. Okay, so every time he will be actually get with this post, and he will be updated it. Like here I just defining as a +1, so I just defining as a +1 on particular that position, and after that he will be save that data. So I just define as a post, and then I just want to save it. Okay, so I just want to save it on particular that position. So now we have to do, we have to pass this post in our view page. So here there is a view in our font details page. So here I want to do, I want to compact. Okay, I just define that compact, and here I have to pass our this post. So I just pass that post on particular that position. And now I have to do, I have to work in our details page, because here I passed all that post. Okay, that means this post variable I just passed it on particular that area. So now we have to work in our details page. So now if you go to the details page, like this part, okay, like here if you open it, that will be our details page. So first of all I want to actually update that portion. Okay, then I will work for our related news. So for doing this, like here, that is actually our title. Okay, so here I just defining as our post title. So here I just defining it. Before doing this, like here you can see I just define as a post. So for the reasons we have to define that post on here, we have to use it. So I just define as a use, and then our app, and then the post. Okay, I just define our post model on particular that position before I actually use it. So rather than we get some of the error, so some of the time I actually missed it. Okay, so for now here I added, now in our details page, here I want to do, I want to actually define our with this post. So here I just define with this post, I just display our title. So I just defining our title on here. And for the title, if you want to put some of the URL, so you can also defining it. So I already discussed a lot of the time, that is a URL, and here you have to define as the details, the slash details. Okay, slash details, and then slash, then I have to define as our slash. So our slash I have to defining it with the post. With the post I just define the slash. Okay, so I just defining it. So here that is our post title, and after that that is actually the date and by the author name. So we did the same work in our listing page. Like if you go here, you can see that is actually the date format. So right now I just copy it. So I just copy it, and now in our details page here I just paste on particular that position. So it should be showing as a date. So now that is actually the post and the created at. So now it's perfect, and also we have to display our author name. So for the author, that means the creator name. So that is actually the post and the creator name. So I just copy it, and here in our details page I just paste on particular that position. So that will be also the post and the creator name. And also if you want to add some of the link for this one, like here in our listing page I also defining it like URL and the author. Okay, so I just copy it from to this position, and here in our details page I just put that things on particular that area, because I already actually created the main structure. Okay, so now we can actually use it with the copy and paste. And now there is actually images. Okay, so for the images I also define on here like there is a src. Okay, so for now I just copy it, and now in our details, so here I just paste that image. So I just defining an image. So this image will be the big sizes. For the reasons here I just defining as the main image with the post and the public and then actually the post. Okay, it's perfect. So here we don't need to do anything. And after that, here I want to display our short description. So here I just display as a short description. So I just defining it with the post, and here I just defining as a short description, that is our database field name. So I just define as a short description on particular that area. And also we don't need this. Okay, I just remove it better. I just remove it from to this position, and here I want to visible our total description. So for the total description, if you want to use some of the HTML, like if you go to our post database, like here, if you go here, you can see there is actually the HTML description. There is in the P. So if you want to display that HTML description, then you have to write down our things like that way, like here, one of the single, and then I just defining a disclaimer, again this one, and in particular that position you have to define your description. So here I just defining it. So when you actually use the HTML, then you should use that. Okay, so now with this post, now our database field is a description. So here I just define the description. So our database, you can see there is actually the description field. So here I just defining it on particular that way. And after that, there is our comments. So for the comments, I already did that work. Like that is a count with the post and the comments. So for now, I just copy it, and details page here I paste on particular that position. So here should be display our comment is perfect. So now here I complete our first step. That means I complete dynamically updated our this part. Okay, that is the title, the date, and the author name. Then the images I display all that short description and the total description and also the comment. So now they have the related news issues. So in our next video, I will continue this process and I will show you how you can display your related categorized news on particular that position. So I will continue this process, and in my next video, I will show you that things with the live example. So thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next video.